Hey y'all, welcome back to Corporate Cousin. Wow, I haven't said that in a long time. My name is Taylor, and this channel is dedicated to helping melanated millennials navigate corporate spaces. The vibes are different, the girl is different, everything is different. It has been, oh my goodness, 5 years? Yeah, I launched this YouTube channel, which is now a podcast, February 2020. So 5 years have passed, and we're hopping back in with a solo episode, knowing that future episodes will be interviews. But I wanted to go ahead and rip the band-aid off because I have been procrastinating. I have been thinking about this, wanting to do this, thinking about doing it. Did I say thinking about doing it? Planning to do it, researching to do it, but I hadn't done it. And I was like, all right, today is the day. I'm letting you know all that because I think it's so important to acknowledge the start of a thing, even if it is not the way that you want it to go long term, or if you are not perfect and haven't figured it all out yet, that is okay. I have started, and the Bible says the Lord delights in the beginning of a thing, or he delights at seeing if things start, or some delights in small beginnings. I don't know, y'all read your Bible. What does it say? You tell me. But we're here. We're starting. So today we're talking about feedback and what that means to a perfectionist or to someone in a corporate setting who may or may not be needing said feedback. So I will just let y'all know it has been a week and I got some feedback on a project I'm working on that it is bumpy and condensed. Bumpy and condensed. In case you weren't sure, yes, you did hear that right. And this was not from my boss, but from my boss's boss. And I did not ask for that feedback. It was just offered to me. And I said, all right, ouch. How can I take this? How do I pivot? How do I adjust? How do I not get offended and in my feelings? What does good look like here, right? Because that's not a compliment. If someone was like, oh, how do I look in this dress? And then you said, oh, girl, bumpy and condensed. I don't think that's what the people would be wanting to hear. It made me reflect. And that is why we're having this topic today. And the first note is that feedback is not a gift. Not always, at least. Sometimes, absolutely, we need it. It helps us grow, it pushes us, it develops it. I'm coming into this topic assuming we all have the same baseline agreement that, like, yes, it is necessary to track how you're doing at work and to know how you're doing in life and to listen to the feedback that people you value offer you. Sometimes we solicit feedback or we receive feedback that is not helping us in any way, and it's not always coming from the best place, depending on who the provider of the feedback is. And that's what I really want to talk about. Sometimes we request feedback as a means of saying we're working to improve or saying we have goals that we're trying to reach. And really, it's just a way to slow us down and to help us to procrastinate. So, feedback can slow you, it can completely derail you, and it can also conform you. So, let's unpack those three things, right? The first one, slow you down. Sometimes feedback is accurate, right? Maybe there are ways you can improve, things you could do better, but don't let great be the enemy of good. Sometimes, while those things are true, you may not have the time to invest to get it to that level of delivery. And if it's a personal project, a passion project, especially, let that sit there. Great, file it away. I could be doing better, but right now, the speed at which I need to move requires that I don't take the time to fine tune, that I just get it out there. Like right now, me in this moment, I'm just getting it out. It might not be perfect. I'm sure there are ways I can improve. Feel free to let me know what you think those are, but at the end of the day, done is better than still in my head, right? And so if I take the time to move as slowly as I need to do the adjustments that I'm getting as feedback, my progress and my pace is not going to be what it would be if I just kept doing it. And I think that's something a lot of people don't realize is that the best perfecter of your work is practice. You have to just keep doing it. Even if it's a project at work and it's not a passion effort like this is, if you're not doing it and it's sitting in your head, you don't have a way to learn, you don't have a way to apply feedback, you're just sitting on it. So feedback can slow you down. It can also completely derail you. I got some really valuable feedback about Corporate Cousin in 2020 when I first launched it from someone who I really value their opinion on. I was actually seeking out feedback, doing little check-ins with my corporate friends at my job, like, hey, I started a YouTube channel. What do you think? Hey, I'm working on this. What do you think? And I asked, what do you think so much? And I did get some really good alignment and agreement with what I'm doing. Oh, I love it. It's good. It's good. And I also got some, hey, here's how you could make it better. And all of it, I think, came from a good place because I wouldn't have asked people who I thought were malicious or who weren't wanting to see me win. But I did get some feedback that made me think what I was doing was not good enough. And no one said that explicitly, but I interpreted it that way. And it derailed what I was doing for 5 years. 5 years. 5 years. That's a long time. You know what's happened in 5 years? A lot, okay? And we're not about to go down all the things that have changed in my life since then. But please know it's a lot. If you're curious, Instagram, you'll find it. But all of that happened because I sought out and thought I needed to seek out feedback to improve something that was going to improve, regardless of if I got the feedback or not, right? Because I was going to keep doing it until I learned some things, adjusted, I grew, I got better. But I took the feedback as, well, you're not there yet. You're not doing it well enough yet. So just stop. And that wasn't how it was intended, nor was that necessary, right? It derailed something that I think I was meant to be doing at the time for a very long time. That was avoidable. So while it is great to ask for feedback, while it is great to engage with what people think, it's not always necessary and it doesn't always serve you. The other thing is that it can conform you. So when I say conform, I'm kind of talking about feedback we get from others that we solicit, but I'm also talking about feedback we gather for ourselves and call it research, right? We're like, okay, well, what does good look like? And how do I get that information, file it away in my head as like feedback of ways I can improve. But really, what you're doing is like looking around to see what everyone else is doing and how you can look more like that. And that is not what you were called to do. You were called to look like you, do it like you. And are there things you can take to learn from people who have experience and have been doing something for a long time? For sure, of course. And comma also, you could be looking at other people and borrowing so much from so many different people and places that it dilutes your final product. It dilutes what you intended to be doing in the first place because now you've looked around so much, you look like that instead of like you. And that's not what we want, right? That's not what God called us to. And like we have a purpose in life that is different. Each of us, it's a gift, it's stuff that is in us that needs to come out. And it has to come out like it's been put in us, right? Not like it's been mixed and stirred. So I want us to be aware of that because sometimes if it's not brought to our attention, we really think we're doing a good thing. We think we're doing ourselves a service of making it better and like, yeah, I need this. And oh my gosh, this is so good. And maybe true. But like if the feedback you're getting is slowing you down, derailing you, or conforming you to your environment, then you probably want to evaluate a few things. One is who's the person that you're getting it from, or who are the people that you're gathering this feedback from? What space are they in? How are they doing? Do you want to know what they think? Like or not. And it's okay. Like my boss's boss who gave me that feedback, I did not want to know what she thought. I did not. I respect it. Again, didn't pop off, didn't go crazy, understand why she said it. However, in that time, that did not serve me because what do I do with that information? How do I action or change bumpy and condensed? I cannot change time. Time is a byproduct of something being condensed, right? If the amount of runway you have to do a thing is small, then it is condensed. Therefore, that is the circumstance. And if I don't set the time frames for the things I'm doing, then all right. So then bumpy, well, that's a byproduct of that as well. So I'm breaking this down probably more than I need to because y'all didn't get the feedback and it don't apply to you, but I'm breaking it down for me because I've been ruminating and like, oh my gosh, this is like critical feedback and how do I grow from it? And it's like, sometimes you don't. Sometimes that's just the fact of it is. It is that way. The thing is the thing. This is bumpy and condensed. Okay. We can learn in the future and provide inputs that will hopefully not create the same timelines and not create the same circumstances, but Some stuff is circumstantial and it's not personal. And if it's that, let it be that. And acknowledge, okay, this is the circumstance. Sucks. Feedback applies to that, but the feedback doesn't apply to me. The feedback is not personal to something I have done that I need to now fix or that I need to now be sad about. That's not what we're doing. Let us bypass that. Okay. So after you've questioned who the feedback is from, I want you to also evaluate its intent. Is the intent to help you grow? Is the intent to maybe tear you down, depending on who it's coming from? Maybe show you a blind spot that you didn't realize you had. And I think for a lot of us cousins who are very self-aware, who maybe are a little too self-aware, too self-critical, too focused on perfectionism, there's not a lot of things people can tell you about you that you don't already know. And in fact, you probably have more to say about you in a critical manner than anybody else would because you're hyper fixated on yourself and other people are not. They don't evaluate everything you say and do the way that you do. And that leads me to the next point, which is sometimes if it don't apply, if it is circumstantial and not specific to you, or if the person providing it is maybe projecting their own feelings onto you and not being factual or helpful, then maybe you just don't ask. And that's the part that I think I am taking, because anything I talk to y'all about, I am talking to me too. We are cousins, we are here, right? 5 years passed, but that ain't changed. So when I say don't ask, I am really speaking to not in a corporate setting, but more in a personal life, projects, passion, gifts, calling space. Don't use feedback as an excuse to procrastinate. Okay? I'm gonna say that again. Me. Don't use feedback as an excuse to procrastinate. If you're a perfectionist, you can procrastinate by perfecting things based on feedback. Oh, someone said this, so I'm gonna make it better. I'm gonna perfect it. I'm gonna set up this better and change that. Y'all might have terrible audio right now. I don't know. I don't work with microphones. I don't know what gain is. I'm over here twisting stuff and pressing buttons and I don't know. And that's okay. But if I kept spending the time trying to perfect the sound and oh, are you gonna hear my kids in the background? Yes, spoiler alert, I have kids now. Didn't have those 5 years ago. But at some point, it becomes a form of procrastination because how much how much editing, how much fixing can you can always make something better, right? There's always runway to improve. And if you get fixated on that, you won't do anything. You'll just be a research and planning procrastinator. And that's not what I want for us. So keep the provider of the feedback in mind. If it's unsolicited, keep that in mind. And always remember that you won't improve if you stop. That's the quickest way to ensure you can't apply the feedback is if you stop doing the thing entirely. Practice doesn't make perfect, but it does make progress. So if you want to progress, if you want to apply the feedback, if you want to do better on the next project, professional or passion, you have to keep going. You can't throw in the towel and be like, all right, well, they gave me feedback that I suck, so I'm gonna just not do it. We live in an era right now where everybody loves instant gratification. We have our phones. If we feel bad, we can post a pic, someone will like it. Oh, I'm pretty. Okay, it's fine. Right? But like some stuff doesn't go like that. Some stuff you can't get instant gratification from. You have to just keep doing the thing in order to work out the kinks, learn the lessons. Some stuff you wouldn't know until you did it. And if you kept gathering feedback or planning, did it one time, people hated it, and you took all that feedback as I should never do it again, well, no, it was your first time. Or maybe it's your 10th time. Either way, there's no way you're going to get better than that if you stop. So you got to keep going. People's opinions can be a crutch if we allow it. So I want us to shake it off, shake it off. Just wear the thoughts, wear the opinions as a loose garment, not as something that is near and dear that I have to like, no, you don't. So if you can release, I don't know what that was. I make a lot of sounds for my kids, and I think I just treated y'all like them. My bad, cousins. I'm back. I'm here. Um, but yeah, life will give you the feedback and the lessons that you need. So just keep living, keep doing the things. Gotta fumble through it. Good, bad, or ugly, put it into the world. And the more you do it, the more you will learn. And that's the best teacher, honestly. Feedback is great. Again, not bashing it, especially not in a corporate setting. I understand that it's necessary, but I want us to embrace the process, embrace something positive about a thing that maybe still was not very good, and ask ourselves what our relationship is to feedback and how is it serving us. All right. So that was what I had for y'all. A little bumpy, a little lumpy, not very condensed, and maybe it should have been, right? Who knows? But I showed up. I showed up to do it. I showed up to get it out. And the more I show up, the better it'll be. So I hope that you keep showing up. I hope that you hang out and, fast forward when I'm rambling if you want. I'll try to cut it out and post, or maybe I won't. Maybe I won't edit this at all. Maybe I'll just put it into the world and see what happens. Oh gosh, scary, scary, right? But like, just do the things, okay? And keep feedback in the proper container. I'm not saying it sucks always, but it can derail, conform, distract. What was the other one? Slow down, right? It can do a lot of things that we don't really have time for. We have lives to live, things to do. And as cousins, I think we can hold each other accountable to that. So I will see you soon, hopefully with a guest if I ever get to actually inviting the guests, written emails, done all the work to let the people know that I want to talk with them. Just haven't told them that. So y'all keep me in your prayers if you pray. I will definitely keep you in mind. Thank you for spending some time with me, and I hope that you enjoyed this. Let me know what you thought down in the comments of wherever this is. Podcastlandia, on your iPhone, on your YouTube, you know the things. I'm not gonna list them, and I will talk with you soon. All right, bye. I don't want to say bye. That's weird. How are we gonna end this? How do we used to end it? Shine on, be great, love you, bye. I don't know. We have to let me know in the comments how do we sign off? What is our closing? Because that wasn't it. All right, thanks.